Hey all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Take two. I already pulled the cards. I already explained what we were doing, so let me catch you up. My child interrupted. I put him to bed, but he's definitely not asleep. So we'll see. Okay. We're doing an inner child healing reading, and I have the Wild Child deck. I already pulled 8 of these energies, and I'm not going to reshuffle. Okay, this was literally like 3 minutes ago. And then what we're going to do after we go through these energies and kind of dissect some childhood stuff, I'm going to look at some shadow aspects and some chakra cards to see maybe what behaviors have resulted from this energy of childhood and where it's showing up in our body. And then we're going to end on a high note with the angels, okay? Alright, so the first card we have is Desolate, which is very much deserted, alone, feeling, in this space of despair, and not really having support around you. So perhaps you were neglected as a child. Next we had Flight. Maybe you always dreamed about freedom. This is very much giving me Forrest Gump with Jenny. One day I'll be a bird so I can fly far, far away kind of energy. So again, speaking to this abandonment or mistreatment in some sort of way, and that led to, I've already looked at these cards, so I apologize. This might feel scripted, but I was a few minutes into the other reading, and maybe that's led to you either becoming a workaholic or using work as an escape, or also Beehive also gives me this groupthink energy. So maybe you just do things for external validation, very much in your ego. I mean, it can go either way. Maybe I think for some people, they've overcompensated with teamwork, becoming person who needed that external validation when you were in this space as a child. And so maybe you just tried to fit in by going above and beyond, or you have allowed others to kind of think for you and let you make decisions for your life. We have Amber, which always gives me Jurassic Park. Shout out to John Williams and that fucking movie score. It's incredible. Anyway, Amber, also 311. Amber is the color of your energy. The song. Amber. Anyway. The mosquito, this could be speaking to a blood-sucking energy. Maybe you've been around energy vampires. Maybe that's what led to your desolate feelings, whatever it is. Or also, maybe you are stuck in this space of, maybe you yourself have turned into someone who, again, can't be alone because you were too alone at one point in time. And it's okay. I think a lot of people have that. It's just that over here we acknowledge our shit and heal it, okay? We don't just pretend like it's not there. Next we have the tree remembers. This is giving me a few things like the family tree remembers. So maybe you're also just imbalanced or experiencing those things because of your family lineage. This is a channel for cycle breakers, for people who are doing their best to acknowledge what they fucking hated as kids and what they're not doing to their kids, shit like that, whatever, right? Things that our families have done, things that we refuse to do, right? So anyway, the tree remembers. I have the saying, the tree grows, or we grow like trees always, always. 2 words and also the 1 word. And the tree remembering gives me very much throughout the cycles, right? Because trees lose their leaves and they grow them and they grow, all of that. You've been in a space of, you've never really been able to let it go. You've never been able to let these things go. The pain, right? The pain that it caused. And we're going to look into that again with these 2 other decks to show us where we can kind of, it's important to acknowledge it, because then we can, once we acknowledge it, right, then we can work through it, right? And because a lot of the times people just carry out these behaviors subconsciously on other people because it's what they know, or because they feel like well, that happened to me, so I'm just gonna do it to them, right? Or you can go one or two ways when you get hurt. You can be so in pain that you don't ever want to have anyone else experience that pain, so you do everything you can to ensure that people don't experience that pain. I'm on that track. Or you experience pain and you think everyone else should also experience that pain, right? So that's part of the healing process, is recognizing what part you're at with that. You don't have to be in extremes, but more often than not, which thinking pattern shows up for you. Next we have Trove with the crow and some treasures. It's very much giving the Little Mermaid a little bit as well, just with like hidden things, treasures. Wow, that's interesting. So maybe you've taken, like maybe you've kind of replaced that lack of feeling of love or whatever it is, whatever feeling or experience you did experience, and you've kind of replaced it with physical trinkets or materialistic things, right? I think that's very common for our society. We live in a capitalist consumerism society, right? That's the normal way to handle things, is to consume by design, right? So or this could speak to maybe you only have a few things that really were valuable to you from that time in your life, right? Regardless of what it is, it's okay to hold things close to you. It's okay to find comfort in things outside of you, within reason, within moderation, right? As long as you're not harming yourself or others, who gives a fuck, right? Take care of yourself. If you want to collect shit, do it. Whatever. We have Reverie with taking a moment, right? Taking a pause. And I feel like that's what this reading is doing for us, is giving this insight, this moment to take a pause. But what's interesting here is that the next card is Opportunity. So you have a flying deer in the sky, which is air energy, and then you have this, what is this, a mountain goat? Are they jumping over snow or water? It's up to interpretation. I don't know. Probably snow would make more sense, but to me, I initially got water, which snow is technically water in one form. Anyway, so Reverie, taking a moment, taking a break, maybe becoming aloof or disassociating a little bit to figure out what your opportunity is, what this leap of faith is. If this part is resonating with you, go watch that reading I posted this morning. It wasn't very long because, again, he woke up. So go check that out, about taking a leap of faith and really trusting in that, right? Maybe you're finally deciding to leave the flock or leave the hive, that safety net of others around you. Knowing that you can always come back to this place, right? Like, regardless of what you've been through, maybe this was your starting point, but this is where you are now. And remember, the tree never forgets. So you don't really forget. Remember, I was talking about those cycles. You don't forget which cycles you've been through. You don't, neither is better or worse than the other. They just are, right? And they are a part of the natural cycle of things. I mean, I don't think abuse is necessarily part of a natural cycle, but I do also believe that we've all been abused at some point or another in our time, right? I mean, well, maybe not everybody. I have. All right. Oh, trauma. So looking through the shadow work, these are some of the things, or shadow aspects, because of all of these 8 energies, because of these childhood things, right? Trauma, your scars are proof of resilience and survival. This is giving me that Jekyll from that one movie in the house. What? 13 Ghosts? Is that what that movie's called? I used to like scary movies at one point in my life. It was weird. It was a good one though. It was a thriller. You guys know what I'm talking about? 13 Ghosts? Is that what it's called? They all got like locked in this house and like all these weird doors open. Yeah, it's the one. Oh yeah, it's totally the one. Okay, this might be spooky, so if you don't want to see this, I'm just going to hold up to the comparison. This is much more traumatic than this card, but I want you to recognize what my brain was thinking. When did this come out? 2001. Yeah, so that was a good 20 years ago. I watched it. Anyway, I have a photographic memory. Okay. So again, we already know this is trauma. We already know that that's what we're talking about, and we're talking about, trauma varies, right? It's definitely, some is worse than other forms, right? So whatever got you through this energy, right? And maybe we're in this this second row here, the tree remembers, the trove, the reverie and opportunity. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe that's, I am a firm believer in that we carry our inner child with us, and as adults we kind of reparent that one however we can. And I've made a lot of, if you want to understand that more or practice more, grief is the one that came up. Check out the Chasing Nostalgia playlist for starters. In pain, find healing and deeper connection to the self. So maybe you've just always been grieving this oh no, my little pearl fell off. Anyway, maybe you've always been grieving the childhood you wish you had. I had that realization a few years ago when I was talking to a friend about my mother, and she straight up said, your mom's never going to be the mother you want her to be. And I think I've just been carrying that grief. My sister too, I don't have a relationship with my sister, and it's just a bummer. It's impacted my relationships with all humans, right? I don't have very good girlfriends. I don't have good romantic relationships, so maybe I'm just sharing to resonate with whoever. I'm just giving my example. Maybe, whatever you did experience, maybe you've just been carrying that betrayal coming out. Healing begins with acceptance and forgiveness. I don't believe in forgiveness for everybody. I'm not a Christian, so I think that the way that religion teaches that you should, turn the other cheek is to gain compliance and obedience from people who are following the religion for control. So no, you don't forget what people did to you. I mean, if you want to, like I was saying about carrying around trauma and grief, carrying around deep betrayals can be really exhausting, and you don't have to forgive that person to their face. You don't need to have a relationship with anybody, but at least through this healing process, acknowledge that you don't want to give that energy to them anymore. Like, you've taken enough, right? Like, get to that point where it's like, I'm not going to hold this any longer because you already took so much from me. I'm not giving you any more energy. I'm apathetic to this. I'm a Pisces, so when we get to a point of you're dead to me, we mean it. We cut the fuck off and you will never see us again. So maybe get to that point. I don't know. But betrayal, that's super deep, right? And that can look like so many different things for everybody. I think if it was a betrayal because you felt a certain way, right? You don't. One more. Give me one more. I like even numbers. I love Blink-182. Anything else as shadow aspects, please? Trauma, grief, betrayal. So think about how those are showing up for you on the daily, how you are projecting that onto other people, unknowingly or subconsciously, right? Are you making, smart-ass comments to people? Are you, just kind of being a dick? Are you making other people pay for that energy that you experienced? There's a saying in the healing world, something about, this isn't verbatim, but something about, sorry, this is my favorite part of the video, I get distracted. It's not even the video either, it's like a still picture, but I'm watching the video in my head. Anyway, nope, it's gone. Oh fuck, sorry. Sorry, my thought is gone, but it'll probably come back. the healing world. I need to turn this down. It's totally distracting me. Some 41 in too deep. What is the saying that I was going to share? Oh, what happened to you isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to, like, you know, not continue to carry it out on others, right? Like, how, like, again, we already talked about that. You have one of two decisions. You're either going to let other people feel it the way you felt it, or you're going to prevent people from doing that, from feeling it. One more shadow aspect, please. That's 2. We have isolation and insecurity. So insecurity, your worth is intrinsic and unchanging, and isolation, in solitude, discover your true self and connect deeper. So again, this is kind of speaking to that beehive energy, as well as the desolate, I don't know how you say it. Anyway, I took an edible a little while ago, so I'm gonna be done with this reading pretty soon. Insecurity and isolation, maybe your way of, you know, maybe you went from one extreme to the other. Myself, well, not really. I've been on a pretty steady track of introvert for a long time. But, you know, I'm trying to get back out in the world. I'm pushing myself. Today I actually made contact with humans for a lot. I made a lot of phone calls. I'm networking right now about some things. And so it used to be a big deal for me making phone calls. It's not anymore. I called a lot of people and I got in touch with some pretty big people in this community. And that's really exciting. So, speaking to the insecurity, maybe you are insecure, so you isolate yourself, or maybe you're isolated because when you go out around other people, you feel insecure. I feel like there's a relationship here because they came out together. So let's move away from the shadow aspects and see how this is showing up in our chakras, in our bodies. What is being hurt? Our heart space, green with connected. Again, yes, isolation, leaving, you know, there's this balance, there's a fine balance between seeking external validation and seeking connection, right? And I think most of us as humans in an unhealthy, insane society struggle with that. I don't think it's uncommon at all. We have divine consciousness, which is our crown chakra. So perhaps you are stepping into some spirituality to support you with this. And maybe that's kind of what I'm getting from Trove and the tree as well. Like, maybe you're going out in nature, maybe you're, you know, celebrating the small things again in life. And if you're not, maybe this is the sign to do so. I've been really doing that. I've been finding a lot of joy in the little things. I spent some time today looking at my plants. I'm like studying the plants because I just think they're so fascinating, and I think we've taken them so incredibly for granted. And I wasn't grown up, like I didn't learn that from my family. And so, you know, maybe that's the thing too. Maybe you want to, maybe this insecurity, we have self-esteem coming out with the solar plexus, and self-esteem and insecurity go hand in hand, right? So maybe you want to learn something new, do it, right? I mean, the way that we have access to information, you just have to fucking look up a hashtag and you can learn anything. What was your latest search? Mine was like vegetarian Instapot recipes. So I don't know, maybe there's something that you want to look up and learn. I'm not a good cook, I'm not good in the garden, but I'm learning. I'm not giving up. So that's my message to you, don't give up. And that will help your self-esteem too, right? Not everything yields the same results, right? And I think that's the thing. I saw a reading today, and she was like, you need to be more proud of yourself. So maybe that's what you need to hear as well. Maybe you've already worked through all this, and you're like, yeah, I know. Like, I've already done this work. I know how it shows up. So then give yourself some credit and have some fun with life, right? Healing your inner child is actually a really fun thing that you can do. I've been doing it since I cut my mother off over a year ago. We have creativity coming out with the sacral chakra, which is your life force energy, your womb space, if you are a person with a womb, that same area if you don't have a womb. So yeah, get creative. I just saw a couple TikToks too this week who were like, what have you produced? You are an artist, you're a producer, not just a consumer. So stop buying stuff. And if you're feeling stuck, this is also like orange or amber, that color, right? Really just create something. I've been in that space as well. Whenever I'm feeling stuck, I either work out, or I take care of myself, or I do something I want to do, or I connect with my son, or he's been learning a lot with me. Like, it's been really fun. We've been learning a lot together. I got myself a bouquet of flowers the other day for the full moon. And I charged them under the moon, and so now I learned about thorns, and he was pissed about it. He was like, what the fuck? He doesn't say that, but his expressions were kind of funny. He was so concerned about the thorns, and so we explored flowers together, and they're still sitting on the counter. I'm going to turn them into dried things once they are ready to be dried. But that was really fun. So I don't know, treat yourself to some. I never buy myself flowers. And today I was looking at them and like, I feel kind of bad that you're not growing. Like, they are so beautiful. You want to see them? I'll go get them. They're so beautiful. I got 2 little bouquets and put them together. Hang on. And so, I actually got them delivered from Walmart. Oh, if you're wondering about this patch, I'm not really a police. That's my camouflage. Okay, but these are my flowers. They're so pretty. There's water in this vase, so I don't wanna spill it on my desk. But these are my flowers. They're so pretty. This is the one with the thorns. Look how beautiful. Can you see? These are so cool. They're like 2-toned petals. Like they've got little drawings on them. They're so beautiful. So I'm very pleased with these. I think I'm gonna make this a monthly practice with the full moon. Yeah, I just ordered 2 bouquets, and so I got all these roses. And I was like, oh my god! And I love pink. So these are the flowers. So yeah, maybe treat yourself to flowers, something like that. Something that makes you feel happy. This trove. Alright, let's get an angel advice and this shit. That's too fucking much. Alright, I'll take these 2. Okay, and these 3. Alright. Okay, we have the number 1616. So if you see any of these, yellow card, only one. If you see any of these numbers in any form, let this remind you. Or even if you just see one, because these are all doubles. We've got, wait. Okay, so we've got willpower. Things may feel out of sync and not within your control. The whisper of the divine is asking that you remember that you are being supported and that your will is your superpower. Determination is key right now. And the affirmation. I call on my strength and willpower to take the lead. I accept and listen to the support of the divine within me. Okay? Really connecting to that spirituality. Alright, then we have 1212 with duality. Within you are shadows of dark and beams of light. The divine is reminding you to embrace the duality that is your individual spark. The spark is being ignited and is ready to illuminate the path ahead. In your affirmation, I fully embrace who I am and I allow change where it is needed. I trust the duality within me. So again, 1212, so if you just see the number 12, or even the number, you could boil both of these down in numerology too. So if you see a 7 or a 14 or a 5, well, okay, never mind. Numerology gets you all the numbers. Okay, anyway, creativity again. So that's the second time we've had creativity come out in this reading. Create, make something, do something. Whether it's producing something tangible or producing something within your body, like working out or something like that. Finding something to create. I totally vote for something tangible though, especially if you are in such a deep healing process. Maybe journal, maybe do a vision board, maybe Make something to kind of give the moment that you're in that momentum of, wait, memento and momentum. Interesting. Anyway, I'm high, so I'm gonna have to end this soon. Creativity. Did we already read this or no? No. Okay. Keep accessing the creative connection that you feel to the divine. The whispers speak through your creative connection, allowing you to express the beauty that is within you and connect you to the love that is around you. And the affirmation, creativity is my birthright. As I express my creativity, I feel a beautiful flow of love and connection. So 15, 15, 15 creativity, 16 willpower, 12 duality. All right? I can't leave you like that. Let's do affirmations. Maybe sing this song to yourself. Get yourself one of these goddamn head massagers. They feel so good. They're like $3. Okay, there's no reason you can't have one of these. Let's get off. These flowers are so pretty. So we're gonna dry them out. I'm excited to do that with Niall. The sunflowers outside, we were learning about pollinators the other day because he was seeing the bees. And we have one bumblebee who just he was coming. He's so cute. Big old bumblebee. Take risks, live, create, tell the story. Choose to see the good stuff. Be authentic, do what you love, and love what you do. And when you know better, you do better. So yeah, speaking on that willpower, integrity, making sure again that we're choosing to alleviate this pain for others, right? By sharing our stories and our experiences, making people feel like they're not alone, normalizing this process, normalizing what happened, right? Because a lot of the times there's so much shame around trauma or grief or any of these shadow aspects, any of the experiences that we've had. And since we've had TikTok as a human collective, we're recognizing that oh my God, we've all lived the same lives. And so finding that camaraderie within that, I can't say that word, finding community, finding that support, right? We get to make our own choices if we want other people to feel the same way that we felt. But we all know if your heart is intact, that's not the right thing to do. Okay? So do what you can to support yourself. And then, like I always say, once you get to your own point with instability, I believe healing is a constant process. I believe this is a lifestyle change. You exist differently when you've decided to heal than you did prior to healing. And I think we all went through that moment, or those times when we were, envious of what people who didn't have our same experiences, or, things like that. We've all had those feelings, and that's okay. It's part of the process. Every rose has a thorn, right? The thorns. They're very sharp. I'm glad they left them on. It was such a good lesson. He was so stressed out. He gets really mad when I show him too. Okay, have a good one.